All right, your National Railroad Freight Committee agent, Uniform Freight Classification 6000M, cancels Uniform Freight Classification 6000L, except for the accounts of the QBT, which for the purpose of the rating should be revert back to rating section 6011 or 6000L. Rules and regulation. Tariff is applicable only in connection with the tariff specifically subject hereto. Issued March 15, 2001, April 2011. Issued by Rail Incorporated, 700 Weston Parkway, Suite 200, Cary, New York, North Carolina 27513. All right. Subjects: abbreviation, explanation, authorized package shipping containers, bill, landing forms, explanation, abbreviation, reference marks, explanation, package numbering forms, billing, landing, index to rules, living stock contract forms, packaging, certificate package carriers, reference marks, explanation, rules, and index. All right, you have your abbreviations for Illinois stations in Illinois, Florida, all stations, Georgia, Alabama, District, Indiana, South Carolina, West Virginia. Um, Participating rail carriers. You know what? I'm not gonna read this. Unless we have a tanker car somewhere, maybe. All right, tanker cars. Page 41. Wait. All right, tanker cars would be Rule 35. All right. 35. No obligation for the cleanly. All right. No obligation to furnish nor to clean tank cars. Section 1 rates provided with the freight and tank cars do not obligate the carrier to furnish the tank car. If the carrier tank cars are voluntary furnished, interior cleaning if necessary, must be performed at expense of the shipper. Carloader minimum weights. Section 2, except for the specific items of the classification word rule 35, except for the minimum weight appear with wherein tariffs governed with the classification, different minimum weights are provided with the carload minimum weights of shipment tanker cars will be those determined by the provision Section 3, subject to applicable outage allowances Section 4 under the provision Section 5 for the compressed, liquefied, compressed gases. Unless otherwise provided with the minimum weight requirements applicable rate tariffs of this rule will be applied within separately against each of the tanker cars in shipment more than one car, whether or not permanently coupled together. Weight limitation: all shipment total weight of the tanker car is at landing not exceed in total weight of the rail limits applicable nominal capacity normal number of axles provided with the Section 10 freight to be loaded in tanker cars as such density with the minimum weight is provided in Section plus lightweight with the tanker car will exceed the applicable total weight of the rail limits as provided in Section 10. Minimum weight limits will be 95% of the weight carrying capacity with the tanker car is determined by the provision Section B with the tanker car weighted track scale weight is greater will apply with the provision paragraph observed with the shipper may certify that the building landing car has total allowable weight on the rail pounds and lightweight pounds. Weight of computing charges not applicable for the compressed or liquefied compressed gases. Section 3 with no tail end minimum weight is applicable. The weight for the computing charges determine any of the following alternative methods: weight per gallon tariff published estimated weight per gallon, estimated underweight agreement, actual weight per gallon, certified shipper to shipper ordering bill of lading, multiplied shippage gallonage capacity of the tanker car, Section 6A plus any quantity loaded in the dome of the car, track scale weight, the shipper to certify with the shipping order and bill loading of the tanker car is loaded to the full shell gallonage capacity. Section 6A, weight is shown with the weight master certificate will apply. Where the tail end minimum weight is applicable, the weights for the computing charges shall be determined by any of the following alternative methods, but not less applicable to tail end and minimum weight. Weight per gallon tariff published, estimated weight per gallon established under weight agreement, actual weight per gallon certified shipper and shipping ordering of the bill loading, landing, multiplied with the actual gallons loaded in the tanker car track scale weight. Weight is shown on the weight master certificate. Alright, your compartment tanker cars' weights are computing charge for the shipment of the compartment tanker cars will be computed with the application of the provision rule for the compartment. The weight will be the sum of the weights for each for the compartment. The commodities loading with the separate compartments are subject to the different rates changes. Will be computed with the base of straight car loaded class commodity rate applicable to each of the commodity weight of any of the compartment that is transported. Empty charge for the empty compartment will be computed on the basis of the highest car load rate applicable to any commodity with a tanker car at the highest weight of the commodity applicable to such highest car load rate. The commodities are subject to the same. The rate in charge of the empty compartments will be computed as lowest weight per gallon applicable to any commodity in the car. Alright, outage allowance. Not applicable to compressed liquefied compressed gases. Section 4A. When liquid is subject agent CL Keller tariff number BOE 6000 series are loaded in tanker cars with the dome's insufficient capacity to provide minimum outage. And required or recommended on our allowance will be made with a gallonage capacity with the shell sufficiently covered the minimum outage. So recommended, required or recommended in this case, shipped must show over the shipping order with the bill and landing over the bolt of the dome, and if any shell gallonage capacity with the tanker car together with a percentage out is so required and recommended. When liquids are not subject to agent CL Keller's tariff number BOE 6000 series are loaded in tanker cars without dome or with the dome's insufficient capacity to provide necessary outage and allowance with made from the gallon capacity of the shell sufficient to cover the other outage necessary but not excessive 2%, and such shippers must show with the shipping order bill and landing of the bolt of the dome in any shell gallonage capacity with the tanker car together with the outage necessary. Continued on the following page. Weights for computing charges in compressed air and liquefied compressed gases. Section 5A, with a no tail end minimum weight is applicable. The weight of the computing charges are determined by the following method. If you're the single unit tanker car, see note 1, when no weight per gallon is published in the tariff, 98% of the number of the pounds computed with multiplying the weight of the comparing capacity of the tanker car maximum permitted filing density percent published by agent CL tariffs number to BOE 6000 applicable to particular gas load but no more than maximum permitted weight under the said tariff. Weight per gallon is published in tariff. 98% of the number of pounds computed by the multiplying weight per gallon capacity of the tanker car. When the weight per gallon is not published by the commodity tariff for the compressed or liquefied compressed gases, number two is on note number 2 will apply for multiple unit tanker cars. 2,000 pounds. Multiplied by the full number of tanks which cover the car's constructed carrier where the tail end minimum weight is applicable. The weighting with the computing charges shall be determined by any of the following alternative methods, but not less than the applicable tail end of the minimum weights. Weight per gallon tariff must be published estimated weight per gallon for weight per gallon estimated under weight agreement. Actual weight per gallon certified shipper on the shipping order bill with the landing multiplied with the net with gallons loaded in the tanker car at 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Track scale weight. Weight is shown with the weight master certificate in paragraph 1 and 2 of the observer of the compressed liquefied compressed gas. Note 1 or 2 provisions. Note number 2. Note 1 filling density liquefied gas and hereby defined in percent ratio the weight of the gas in the tank of the weight of the water of the tank will hold. For determine the water capacity for the tank pound of the weight of the gallon is 231 cubic inches of weight water at 60 degrees Fahrenheit and the air shall be 8.3228 pounds. Note butadiene from alcohol, and no 2, butadiene from alcohol, butane, butane from petroleum. Alright, 3-5 tanker cars, car freight, continued. Freight charges assessed for the base for the weight of the determined multiplying with the net of gallons by 60 degrees Fahrenheit, weight of 55.2 pounds per gallon, shipped to the certified of the billing, landing number for the net gallons is 60 degrees Fahrenheit, load in origin. Ethanol carcinogen liquid charge of the assessed of the basic for the track scale weight with the weight agreement with not less than 127,000 pounds per car. Isoprene. Freight charge will be assessed at the base weight of the determined multiplying the net gauge gallons at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, weight of the 5.7 pounds per gallon, shipper to make certified bill landing over the number of net gallons over the 60 degree Fahrenheit loaded at origin. Liquefied petroleum gas. Freight charges will be assessed at the base weight of the determined multiplying with the net gallons at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, weight of 4.7 pounds per gallon, shipper will certify a bill of landing number of the net gallons 60 degrees Fahrenheit load at origin. Capacity of the tanker car. Section 6, gallonage. For the gallonage capacity of the tanker car, see with the tariff RER 6413 series. It cannot issue with account with the carriers to indicate with as statute and the participating carriers. Weight in the weight and carrying capacity tanker cars shall determine the total allowable weight of the rail provided within Section 10 of the light weight of the tanker car. Tanker car is not completely unloaded. Section 7. If the tanker car is not completely unloaded, destination and the remainder of the landing shipped in the same tanker car to any of the point reloading, cleaning, and repairing with the tanker car, approximately weight of the commodity must be declared. Shipper receiver will be charged for actual lawful estimated weight of the carload applicable for movement into the tanker car for exemption, except for the substance remaining with the tanker car does not exceed 7% of the weight of the last loaded movement. If no commercial consideration, see Note 2, is given them the substance remaining in the car, no charge shall be made for it. For there is no NS and no tanker car mileage allowance will be made in shipment subject to this section. Exemption will return to original shipping point via the reverse route with the inbound movement, but the rate would apply with the applicable original shipping point, original destination, effective date shipment is tendered to the return of the rate normal applicable to shell return movement if lower. Note 2. If no commercial consideration shall be deemed to be given the remaining substance for the purchaser of the consignor in connection with the last loaded movement if the car is not credited with it or if it's discharged waste before the car is again loaded, if such remaining materials accumulated substance which is wasted when the car is cleaned. Be in connection with the Union Pacific, the provisions of subparagraph A of the Note 2 do not apply in substance remaining car exceeds 7% of the weight of the last loaded movement. Alright, flammable and combustible liquid, Section 8, not clearly currently used. Preparation for tanker cars, Section 9. Before tanker cars are loaded, shippers must examine the tanks and appurtenances to see that the cars do not restrict markings against loading in the outlet valve of the proper condition. Outlet valves must be closed. Tanks with the bottom discharge outlets must have outlet caps off during the entire time tanks are being loaded. When loading has been completed, all closure of the open tanker cars and their protective housing must be properly secured in place. Total weight on the rail limit. Section 10. Tanker cars having the following nominal capacity number of axles must be loaded and axed if the corresponding total weight of the rail limits is shown below. Shipments of multiple units of compartmentalized tanker cars must contain landing in either end of the car except exceeding one half the applicable total weight of the rail, less of the light weight of the car is shown in the table below. Our tanker car freight nominal capacity 60,000 pounds or less, 103,000 pounds railway axle 4, 154,000 pounds 6 axle cars, and number 8 axle cars is not applicable. 600,000 pounds to 88,000 pounds, 142,000 pounds 4 axle cars, 213,000 pounds 6 axle cars, over 110,000 pounds, but not exceeding 154,000 pounds, 220,000 pounds rail axle, 4 axle cars, 330,000 pounds, 6 axle cars, 440,000 pounds, 8 axle cars, over 154,000 pounds, but not exceeding 200,000 pounds, 263,000 pounds, 4 axle cars, 6 axle cars, 394,000 pounds, 526,000 pounds, for 8 axle cars, over 200,000 pounds, but not exceeding 250,000 pounds, 315,000 pounds, 4 axle cars, 472,000 pounds, 6 axle cars. Alright, and that was your tanker car uniform freight class, rule.